welcome, family, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all family, all your ways, and that you are acclimatizing to a new life story, a new narrative for yourself and the new earth, which is very much here. We really want to send a special shout out to everyone that supports us on Patreon and all the people who give us love donations through PayPal. There is a gift in the mail for you, so definitely keep an eye out for that if you haven't already received it. Family, we're in a new reality. We're in a new reality. Things done change, like for real. And there's a big story that's kind of been breaking the news here in Kenya and across Africa. Even the divided kingdom picked up this story, although it's about the British Army. And this is a huge turning point in terms of squashing the neo-colonial agenda that has been imposed on Africa through all these foreign agreements, defense force agreements, constitutions. I told you everything now. The spell is the paperwork that has created this matrix, all the laws, all these things, family. And, I talked about this last year where the British Army burnt down 10,000 acres of a rare forest in Kenya, in Nyanyuki, near my farm. And at that time, the story was squashed, family. Then, the British Army did this whole documentary on all the main TV stations, showing, all the great things. They changed the villagers market and they gave the police, police headquarters a gate, which is just embarrassing, because they should be able to pay for their own gate if they weren't so corrupt. Stories for other days. But so they went on this, charm offensive, trying to convince Kenyans once again that they are here for a good reason, that they are actually providing value, etc., and what the British Army in Kenya has done. But there was also a group of other small landowners. A lot of people have emigrated from the cities to the, what we call the villages. And there's a lot of woke people, family, by Mount Zion now. So, so anyway, there's this organization called something, I don't know, it's like the Mount Kenya something. And landlords, whatever, they actually took the British Army to court, and they actually said, that they had to face the charges for burning this forest. And guess what? Allegedly, they were high on cocaine when they did this, family. And one Kenyan actually did lose his life. He was crushed by a car as he was trying to go and, take water, rescue the soldiers, etc. Left behind a wife and two sons. You know how Babylon loves to highlight just pull on your emotional heartstrings, whether it hurts them or not. But so, the British Army came out and they said, we've got diplomatic immunity, which means no Kenyan court can touch us. But get this, about 7 years ago, someone within the Kenyan government, the agreement was changed between the divided kingdom and Kenya, which no longer, basically, bottom line, gives the British Army diplomatic immunity, which means they would never face any kind of justice in Kenya. They'd be taken back to the divided kingdom and they'd face the military courts there, which basically means our people have never gotten justice. Family, those days are over. Those days are over, and this is huge. So, now it's emerged in a landmark, historic ruling. It has been decided by a judge of the High Court, Judge Antonina Bore. Shout out, Judge. She said, British soldiers must face charges that while high on freaking cocaine and I'm quoting, not the fricking, but you know what I mean. They started a fire that destroyed 10,000 acres of a Kenya wildlife reserve. That's what Judge Antonina ruled. She rejected an attempt by the Ministry of Defense to have the case dismissed on the basis that the British Army had diplomatic immunity. And, this fire took place on this ranch called Loldaiga Hills Ranch, which is like 49, well, it was 50,000 acres. I wonder what happened to that 1,000 acres. Because I heard a certain top politician was also bought land there. I mean, they tried everything to avoid this, but this is historic, family. This changes the game because there's been a lot of crimes that have been committed by soldiers of the British Army, and for us Kenyans in Kenya, we felt like they got away with it because they were shipped out of the country. They were, they put in the diplomatic immunity, and many felt like they got away with rape, with this, with that. But now this changes the game. And remember, with rulings, because of the common law that we use here in Kenya, which is the same as the divided kingdom, like this now sets a precedent for the future. And this is huge, family. This is absolutely huge. And 7 years ago, Kenya had actually wanted for the British Army to start withdrawing its troops, but they weaseled and wiggled and dangled carrots and threw threats out there. So, they ended up renewing their agreement, but this, I guess they didn't see this clause. And this has been running, like the British public, well, the British press is going so hard. They're the ones who say, some of the titles that appeared in the divided kingdom, British Army soldiers who were blamed for starting massive 10,000 acre bushfire in Kenya while high on cocaine. Lose fight for diplomatic immunity. Family, this is an epic ruling. This is an epic ruling, and I think it should give us so much hope and excitement that if we continue to get our people, the people who are truly passionate about us going back to, or even moving forward in pride and power and truth of who we are as a melanated people, as a sun people, if we start getting the right people in the right positions, things will happen. These spells will be reversed. And the thing that's huge about this is it's going to force the British Army to start behaving differently and also to reconsider even being in Kenya with their army in the first place, because they never want to be judged in a foreign country. Like, they always try and avoid that. They always try and protect their soldiers because there's a lot of fuckery that goes on, family. There's a lot. And it's funny because, one of my my workers on the farm had actually called me, and he had said that the British Army, I think this was like a month ago, was looking for people who had been affected by the fires, and they were going to allegedly pay them like 2 million Kenyan shillings, which is a lot. I mean, you can buy a plot for 2 million Kenyan shillings. It's like $20,000, maybe 18,000 pounds. So it's like, but these tactics aren't working anymore because the spell was shifted. The terms of agreement changed, family. This is huge. And actually, the people who brought legal action are the African Center for Corrective and Prevention Action. They're called ACPA. They're the ones who brought legal action against Batuk, seeking compensation and reparations, alleging that the fire was caused by agents of the British Army Training Unit in Kenya who tested positive for cocaine. Batuk tried to deny its soldiers caused the fire and claimed they were protected from persecution by diplomatic community. But then the knockout blow came, family. Where the Kenyan High Court Judge Antonia Bor, waived diplomatic immunity to legal action, saying that when the divided kingdom government signed a new military agreement with Kenya in 2015, I guess they didn't read the fine print. but that waived diplomatic immunity to legal action in the terms of that under which its soldiers would be allowed to operate in Kenya. So if they're in Kenya and sugar hits the fan in Kenya, they have to face the music in Kenya. This is huge, family. This is huge. Let me know if you get it in the comments below. But things are changing. Sometimes we may feel at a snail pace, but check out the show I did on In a Twinkle of an Eye, family. Babylon will be replaced, which is why I keep saying, please work on yourself, empower yourself, strengthen yourself. Remove any limitations or obstacles. Constantly petition the Most High and your ancestors to keep only the right people around you, to keep you only in a certain mentality so that it becomes a way of life. Did you know that if you do something for 21 days, that's like all these programs like stop smoking, stop drinking. It's all about the first 21 days and then it becomes a habit. Work on yourself, Africa. Yeah. Work on yourself, dear Africans. Because a new day is already here in Africa and it's gonna require a new us to change up this narrative and change up the game. Until next time, Tuko pamoja.